Welcome to my update video for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I'll be sure to leave a link for the website I'm on if you want to look over everything yourself. I'm not going to do this scripted, so there's going to be no voice, no, constructed, well thought out shit. It's going to be me just reading everything so far that's been written here, and things you might already know, things you might not know. So, shall we? The average game length will be around 25 to 30 hours for one playthrough. No loot boxes. Confirmed via Twitter. Not an Epic Games Store exclusive, but instead at Paradox, GOG, DRM-free, Steam, Humble, Steam Resale, Epic, Xbox, and PlayStation stores. You will hear me sip my water. That's also the thing about not scripted. Brian Mitsoda is the lead writer, just like the original, alongside Chris Avallone and Cara Ellison. Rick Schaefer is composing again. Set in Seattle, first hub surrounds Pioneer Square. In the late 1800s, the original Seattle downtown area burned down, leaving the community to rebuild the city atop the old one. This means that a literal scorched city awaits just beneath the streets, a sort of American Pompeii full of abandoned storefronts and grimy street signs. It'll be a seamless hub world. You'll be able to travel through Seattle from a much earlier point, and will be able to make your choice about where in the city you want to spend more of your time to a certain extent. So I'm going to guess that means that you don't have to do the main story if you don't want to. You can pick where in Seattle you want to go and who you want to interact with and what quests, like side quests, you want to do, but to a certain extent. As in, certain things might be locked off if you haven't done certain parts of the story, or, basically it'll make you do the main story at some point. Multiple hubs all are available from the beginning. So as I said, you can wander around and explore first if you don't want to do the main quest. Direct sequel to the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines from 2004. Takes place 15 years after Bloodlines, and the events of LA did happen. They are canon. LaCroix is canon. Game starts off with a mass embrace at Pioneer Square where player is among the new vampires born from the event. You're captured and brought upon a court of prominent vampires like the first game to recount the events of the mass embrace before being sentenced to death. Court is firebombed and you escape, thrust into Seattle to find out who's responsible. Unsanctioned 7, side quest has you hunting down the other Thin Bloods and learning about how vampiric life has impacted their mortal life. So we already know a name of a side quest, Unsanctioned 7. We will be hunting down other Thin Bloods and learning about how, because they're vampires now, how that's affecting their mortal lives. Probably will run into someone who's married, who has to pretend like they're still normal, someone who maybe lives with a family, who has kids, maybe they're a single mother, a single father. So that should be interesting. It also looks like we will be sentenced to death, so unlike the first game, this video will be full of Bloodlines 1 spoilers ahead. Spoilers! Alright. So, in the first game, LaCroix gets convinced by Nines Rodriguez to spare us. A sense of Camarilla compassion, right? And in this one, it looks like no one's going to stand up for us because we're probably Thin Bloods and no one cares about us anyways. Why would they stand up for us? And it looks like it's going to get firebombed. Whoever firebombs it, though, that's curious. Is it the same people that mass embraced us? We won't know. Probably won't know until the game comes out. That's an interesting thing to think about, though. Theory crafters out there. Player is a Thin Blood at first. Later on, you can choose your clan. The character models you've seen for the clans are actual NPCs from the game. So all the models that you've seen when they've announced these clans, let's see if I can open this. Like this guy here, he's very generic. I think he's the guy from the demo. He looks like the guy from the demo, at least. Very generic. He's the Thin Blood NPC, so we'll probably run into him at some point in the game. Same with all the other pictures you've seen of NPCs. They're all from the clans, respectively. So, Thin Bloods get I'm going to say this wrong. Cryptarian, Cryptarian, I don't know, bat stuff. You get glide and swarm. You can have a swarm of bats distract someone. You can glide from rooftop to rooftop. Mentalism pull and mentalism levitate. So you get telekinesis, pull something to you or levitate someone. Nebulation mishroud or nebulation envelop. So I think you become mist or something. I'm not sure about that. Or envelop. That also I'm not sure about. Maybe you envelop someone with mist. Maybe you blind them. So that's another CC thing. It looks like everything has a CC and an effect. So that's what it seems like the Thin Blood stuff looks like. It's an effect or a CC. What tree are you going to go down? I don't know if they're going to let you get all of them, or if you have to pick which category you want to go into. I don't know. Nebulation looks pretty fun, or even mentalism. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to pick. I guess depending on what type of character I'm going to be thinking about making. So the first clan that was announced was Brujah, and their curse is more prone to frenzy. They have potence, and what we're getting from that is First of Cain and Earthshock. Potence is a vampiric ability that makes you stronger for those who don't know, or haven't played the first game. You basically punch really hard. It's hard enough to create an Earthshock in the ground if you punch the ground. Celerity, Unseen Storm, and Celerity Accelerate. For those who don't know, Celerity makes you go really fast, and so as a Brujah, you'll be hitting hard and hitting fast. You'll probably be a pretty effective cannon. And not a cannon, a tank. That's what you are. You're a tank. You're a tank. You're lobbing a giant missile in someone's face and just pounding on them continuously, and you're just a tank. There you go, Brujah. Clan 2 that was announced is Tremere. The curse. Oh, I almost forgot. Wait, sorry about that. Let me show you. It's going to be pretty zoomed out, but this you can see him in the gameplay trailer. If you haven't already watched the gameplay trailer, I will be sure to link that below. Also, the gameplay demo. I will link that. But he's in the trailer, and he punches us and sends us flying across the hallway. But he's an NPC for the Brujah clan. So, Clan Tremere. Curse receives increased damage from other kindred, and associated disciplines is Thaumaturgy, you get Skewer, Thaumaturgy Purge, Thaumaturgy Blood Boil. Ooh. Auspex Aura Sense, and Auspex Psychic Projection. Thaumaturgy is basically blood magic for those of you who do not know, and you're basically a blood witch, you're a blood sorcerer. You can control blood. It's pretty cool. You can make someone explode from within because you boil their blood, which I'm sure is what blood boil is. Auspex, you get Aura Sense, and Auspex is basically letting you see, past the veil of what you normally can see. Auspex is kind of mystic in the sense of you can see people's auras, you can see who's human, or who's diablerized, who's a vampire, who's a werewolf, all that type of stuff. You can see it with Auspex and Aura Sense. Also, you get Psychic Projection, which I'm going to guess, I don't remember what that does, or if this is new, but I'm going to guess you project yourself psychically into another room or something, so you can scout ahead. So it looks like Tremere are going to hit hard and be able to plan their attack. So, sounds pretty good to me. Although you will take more damage from other kindred, so best not to piss off too many people, huh? So here she is. She's got like, ooh, pink eyes. I like that. Well, there is a pink glow. That's probably why her eyes are pink. But she's got highlights. I love this. I love this outfit. I want this outfit. I want this outfit to touch my body. That's what I want. I want to wear this outfit. This is pretty. I like this. I like her. She's cool. We're going to be friends. Whether she wants to be my friend or not. But yeah, looks pretty good. Alright, Clan 3 is Toreadors. That curse is reduced willpower when not in a crowd. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work in the game, so I don't know how bad of a curse that is. And here they have presence, which gives them awe and entrance. Then they have celerity, like the Bruja that we just talked about, unseen storm, and accelerate. So they can go really fast, and it looks like they can put on their presence. So their presence is just so awe-inspiring that, sorry, you might have heard my cat sneeze, so awe-inspiring that everybody around them is just so inspired and entranced by them that they just want to, I guess, come closer, or are, no, they'll be entranced. So they just, I don't know, they're in awe. Maybe they can't hit you as well because they're just so inspired by your presence. You're just so awe-inspiring. I don't know. That's just my understanding. And then entrance with the come hither finger. So probably to make someone come over, CC someone. So a CC, and they can move fast. So looks like they're going to have CC and the ability to hit a lot quickly. So damage. Clan 4 that was revealed is Ventru. Oh, wait, Toreador. Oh, yeah, I love this girl. She's just mod, isn't she? Look at these pants. These are nice leather pants. There's a cool design here. I'm not quite sure what that is. The butterfly and X. We don't know. Is that a bow? I don't know. I think it's a X. Butterfly? Is it a butterfly? I'm not quite sure. Why are we focusing on that? But here we go. She's not wearing a shirt. She's wearing a cute little... I'm going to talk about their clothes. That's right, I am. She's wearing a little vest underneath, it looks like. It's a black one with a cool leather top with, ooh, look at those shoulders padded. Cool hairstyle. Look at her. She does not give a fuck. She's the type of girl who will go out and know she is gorgeous, can wear anything she wants and get away with it. She doesn't have to wear a shirt. She hot. No bra either, because she's a liberated cool woman. Alright. Clan Ventru. Curse. Refined feeding habits restricts their gain from low resonance people. Also, animals/rats are next to useless. That makes me wonder, does that mean that there will be different animals than just rats? In the first game, if you did not have the plus patch, or the plus patch installed, you would just have rats, but the plus patch added some dogs. I never experimented to see if you could eat the dogs. I should probably experiment to see if I could eat the dogs. If anyone could hear me talk right now, they think I'm nuts. That's fine. But so they're rats. They're definitely gonna be rats, but I don't know if this means definitely other animals. So I don't know if I'd be able to eat from like a dog or a cat. I'm not quite sure about that one. So their assorted disciplines are dominate, you get mesmerize, dominate command, fortitude absorb, fortitude personal armor. So dominate, you can probably guess, you dominate someone, so you can mesmerize, that's CC. And command, which I'm sure you can command someone to do something. So kind of another CC with a DPS type effect. Fortitude absorb and fortitude personal armor both seem like tank skills. So it looks like Ventru are going to be tanky with some damage. Well, damage of course, but some damage ability and ACC. Alright, he's got brown eyes. Ooh, look at this jacket. Yeah, that's right. I don't know. It's just kind of a everyday office look, isn't it? He looks like a 9 to 5 guy, maybe. Yeah, he's kind of high up there. He sits around the water cooler and chats with the guys. He works in a building, definitely. He's a guy who doesn't really care about much other than his work life. That's what the vibe he gives off here. Alright. So, we have Malkavian, the final clan revealed for just the base game. I'm sure there'll be more clans added soon after. They have the Curse of Insanity. While playing as Malkavian be a different experience with unique dialogue. And yes, it will, in a similar way to the original Bloodlines, because it is the expectation, said Mitsoda. We cannot deviate from the expectation of what the Malkavian experience is. So that makes me think that they are going to keep some of the fish milkiness, even though they have said in other interviews that they are going to try to be more conscientious of mental illness and not, over-exaggerating it and making it into a joke. So, I don't know, but this probably means that fish milky stuff will still kind of happen, but I'm okay with that because I do love me a good fish milk. So, you will have Dementation with Haunt, Berserk, or aspects with aura sense or psychic projection. We already talked about aura sense, so we know what that means. We'll be able to plan a bit ahead, and it's a good way to be extra aware of your surroundings. Dementation, Haunt, and Berserk. I'm going to guess one of these is a CC, and the other looks like a CC that also does damage. So, interesting mix here of, I feel like Malkavians are going to be a bit hard to play, in the sense of you'll probably have a harder time doing big amounts of stuff that the other clans will pull off, like damage or really good CC or stuff like that, or good armor, like tank abilities. So you'll probably have a little bit of a harder time if you play Malkavian. That's just my take on it, though. I could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong. Usually Jameer's pretty OP, though, for real. Okay, no quest markers on NPCs' heads. Must be discovered by your own exploration and engagement. I like that. It's like the first game. 4 factions show so far. We have the Pioneers, the Baron, which means Anarchs, the Camarilla, so it doesn't say Prince, it just says Camarilla, and then the Tremere, so maybe the Prince doesn't like us very much. That is a theory, that the Prince is kind of an ass, so. Prince Cross. First person with contextual third-person actions just like DSX Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. For example, the camera briefly zips to third person for particularly fast and elaborate maneuvers, like vaulting over an enemy and delivering a blow to their side. Fan favorite characters from Bloodlines will be returning. You can scale buildings, there's an emphasis on verticality. Level design is very reminiscent of the original Deus Ex in the sense that you're offered many different pathways to approach a particular scenario. The protagonist is not voiced, but game dialogue is fully voiced. So far, let's talk about these points. So, we're getting returning characters, most likely returning. Who do you think? I think Jack. I think Jack's going to show up again. I think either Therese or Jeanette, because I know in V5, the Asylum clubs are branching out, and they're pretty much all over the place. And the Tourette is the canon ending for them. Again, spoilers. Who else? I don't know if we're going to run into the Anarchs. Maybe, I hope we run into some, like, just random people. I don't know. Who would be, like, the most random person you want to run into from the first game? Let me ask that. Who would... Oh, I want to meet Pisha again. I think Pisha would be cool to meet again. I want Pisha back. Please bring Pisha back. Guys, get on this. I want Pisha back. Chunk. Chunk would be cool. My Chunk theory. He's a ghoul, man. I'm telling you. He was LaCroix's ghoul. He's in the system. He's with the Illuminati. With the Camarilla. Alright, back to the points here. You can scale buildings. We've seen that in gameplay trailers. Again, they will be linked in the description below if you have not seen them. Level design is very reminiscent of the original Deus Ex and sends you off to many different ways, which they showed that also in the gameplay trailer, which check out if you haven't already. And the protagonist is not voiced, but the game dialogue is fully voiced. Like the first game, all NPCs should be voiced and have fully voiced lines. No reading really necessary, but I would suggest reading because, well, maybe you'll miss something. You never know. Always put on your subtitles, people. Trust me. Besides that, we will not be voiced, us, the protagonist, the player, which is just like the first game. So, I'm fine with that. Way more dialogue than Bloodlines. More broader choice than Bloodlines in choosing who you want to work for. Different experience based on your faction alignment can insult factions so badly they stop working with you. So this gives us the hints that we'll be able to manipulate who we want to really elevate in the city, who we want to end up with in the end. And it seems like we can really fuck over other people, and to the point where other NPCs probably won't even talk to us, which would be very interesting and fun. I would love to fuck with people. Interaction options with mortals. Here it shows Attract, Charm, and Taunt. So it looks like you can't really walk up and press E and have a conversation with the mortal NPCs. It looks like you have different choices of social interactions that you can just quickly do with them, like little emotes, and maybe it will have them follow you to go beat you up in an alley or go, get a blowjob in an alley or something. I don't know. Maybe that's how it'll work for you luring away someone. Sometimes if you lose a lot of humanity, that means you're reduced to the base instinct of the vampire, which means that you just start fights whenever you go and just become the beast. So that means, I'm guessing, if you have low humanity, which in the first game you can have different humanity runs. If you haven't done that yet, I suggest reinstalling the first game and trying that out to see what I'm talking about. But it will affect how you talk to people, especially human NPCs. So this gives me hope that that is back in, and so you can have low humanity runs. That could be fun, but it makes it look like you're reduced to the base instinct of a vampire, so you just start fights wherever you go. So that makes me think, are we frenzying, or is it just we're just total assholes, so we can no longer seduce people, we cannot be nice to people, we can only ever try to be the most horrible asshole to everyone? And we run around the street, and like if an NPC bumps into us or something, we beat the shit out of them, I guess. That's what that's making me think. Alright, sorry, adjusting my headset. Okay. Whew. Huge emphasis on character creation. You can choose your background, gender, pronoun, age, employment history, blood type, and fashion. Blood type. Body type. Yeah, you can choose your blood type, dude. Doesn't matter. You're dead. It doesn't matter. And fashion, your preferred blood type, fashion, etc. There will be no sliders for facial customization. There will be presets for each option. Now, I have heard them say that they did not want a thing like Fallout. They didn't want sliders like that. So it's all preset. So you'll preset probably your face shape, your eye shape, your nose shape, your lip shape, your ear shape, your skin color, and your body type, as they set up here, and fashion. So I am excited by that. I love fashion. I love clothes. I'm a girl. Listen, alright, I'm going to make me the best looking goth vampire girlfriend ever, alright? For me. Just for me. Anyways, so we can choose a background. Like in the first game, they took that out, but if you have the plus patch, you have it back in. It doesn't really affect anything other than your way you build your character sheet. That's about it. In this game, though, it looks like your background might affect more. So I'm excited to see how they implement that. Most games that try backgrounds in RPGs, it is very lackluster and usually doesn't really add that much other than a little bit of flavor. Like, not even enough to make it spicy. Gender pronouns? Okay, so we get to pick that, so we can be they, them, all that stuff, all that fun stuff. I'm down for it. I'm for it. Let's be more inclusive, Bloodlines. Let's go. Age, so that makes me think you can play like a 6-year-old grandma vampire, which, come on, let's do it, guys. Come on, do a grandma run. Just the Malkavian grandma who runs around with a severed arm weapon and just, yeah. Low humanity, too. Gotta go low humanity, dude. Make her look as cute, a cute little granny. Employment history, so I don't know if employment history and background are going to have the same effect on things, or if they are two different types of things, which would be kind of cool. So, I'm down. I'm down for that. More flavor to my RPG coffee. I'm totally down. Loads of secrets and hidden pathways to find. So unlike the first game, which didn't have a lot of secrets other than the sewers, I guess, I don't think it's really a secret, this looks like there's going to be secrets, so keep your eyes open. Seattle as a hub world is described as very active. Crowds gather outside clubs, and muggers prey on victims inside alleys, all seamlessly done. I don't believe it's going to be seamlessly done, but that means that the NPCs probably have different scenarios for routes set up for what they're going to do. Like in Bloodlines 1, if you go to downtown, you'll probably notice that the guys in the red jackets and the guys in the bandanas, like the gangbangers, and for some reason the dude in the red jacket, they always fight. You know? You always see them fighting each other and killing each other in the streets. That's scripted. It's supposed to be like a gang fight or something, I'm gonna guess. Kind of shitty. It wasn't done that well, but hopefully they'll be able to implement it better in this game. If they do that, I appreciate that. That adds, more life to my city. Main side questline involves hunting down and finding all the other thin blood created from the mass embrace. Each will have their own story about entering into their life, their new life. You might find a married thin blood struggling to deal with their newfound powers. So that's what we talked about. Oh, the main side questline. I don't know what that means. Main side quest line. So I guess we're gonna have a main quest and then like a main side quest. Do they both need to be completed? Or do we get different endings depending on whether or not we complete the main side quest? That's question 2. Or how we complete it. Ooh. That makes me think. Like, pretty fun. Blood resonance from the 5th edition will appear in this game. Using your enhanced vampire senses, you can see when NPCs are experiencing an intense emotion like fear, desire, pain, joy, and anger. Humans give off a bright aura. Drinking a person with a strong resonance will give you an immediate bonus to things like melee, depending on the emotional state of non-player characters. Players themselves will be able to charge their passive and active abilities, powerful skills that will allow them to perform stunts in combat or influence social interactions. Only by finding the right kinds of resonance out in the wild can players build up their skills to meet their needs. So I don't know if you can stack resonance or not, or if they're saying you basically can't. You just have to kind of mix and match and find a balance of what you like, because you can only have a certain amount of either or, which I'm going to guess is going to be how they're going to implement this, is you can only have a certain balance of either or active at a time. Blood bags are just blood. They don't have any resonance. Areas are your resonance types: fear, desire, pain, and delirium, and there's a bar here, so as I said, I think there's going to be a balancing act to this. Blood buff is now considered always on, which I appreciate that. It's always kind of annoying to waste some blood on a fucking blood buff, let me tell you. Blood heal is an intrinsic ability that can be done with the press of a button, which means that in the first game, if you have the plus patch, blood heal is in the game. It just uses your blood resource, blood pool, to heal you. And it wasn't like that big of a heal, so I don't know if they're going to make it bigger or not in this game. We'll have to see how the numbers add up, but they're bringing that back. There will always be ways to make healing more effective. I don't know what that means. Maybe it has something to do with resonance. Heightened senses shows both emotional state of NPCs to drink, lootable boxes, and usable things. Fatal feeding gives you more blood but less resonance. To get most resonance, you need to aim for the sweet spots. So, heightened senses shows both emotional state of the NPCs and lootable boxes and usable things. So I guess when you're stuck, you want to be using heightened senses, so it'll show you probably where to go. So that's how they're dealing with that. NPCs, so we'll see their resonance, and then lootable things. So I'm going to guess there's secret things we can loot and maybe get some cool stuff. Fatal feeding gives us more blood but less resonance. To get most resonance, you need to aim for the sweet spot, which means there's a certain, I'm going to guess we have to let go at a certain point when we're drinking from an NPC to achieve said sweet spot. I have seen the gameplay again. If you go watch the stuff, I have seen them feeding, and it looks interesting, the new feeding system. I honestly think we have to go hands-on to really see how it works, though, because it's still a little confusing, at least to me. If someone has a better understanding of it, please let me know. You can pit factions against each other for your own benefit. Masquerade violations of violence will reduce civilian population at night, as people are scared to go out, and heavier frequent violations will see supernatural enforcers sent after you. Hunters are coming back if you masquerade violate too much, so don't get trigger happy out there, kindred. Can repair masquerade violations through specific tasks, like joining cleanup crew to clear up masquerade violations from other vampires. Cleanup crew run by a weird, desensitized guy named Bart. It sounds kind of cool. Does he, Bart. Hopefully he wears overalls. Use an example of the black humor in the game. One cleanup crew mission has you clearing the mess left behind by a vampire, plus human romantic encounter. If someone had exploded in a small hotel room, that's what that would look like. You're just there to pick up the pieces. Literally, pick up the pieces. And Bart just comments on whatever's there while eating his noodle soup. So this is the little icon to cleanup crew. That sounds fun. I want to meet Bart. I want to go on the cleanup crew. Emphasis on fluid combat, using vampiric speed to slide in and out of melee range and splash people and execute them with melee weapons. You can get special cinematic finishers in combat when you execute people a la Deus Ex Human Revolution. Counters are in. Guns exist and are treated as temporary opportunities. You pick them up, use it, then discard it and move on. So I'm curious about here. Emphasis on fluid combat. The combat didn't look that fluid in the game demo. Again, go watch it if you don't know what I'm talking about. I have seen the slide. I've seen the execution with the melee stuff when he's flipping and flopping around them. Cinematic finishers in combat. I don't know if they're going to add more than just that flipping and flopping all over. I think that's a big promise, and I feel like they're not really going to deliver that bigly on it. You know what I mean? the game companies talk, like people talk, you know. Okay. Players no longer assign attribute points to determine their abilities. Instead, you are capable of handling any weapon you come across. Rather than putting points into a smaller crosshair, a steadier hand, or an affinity for a certain type of firearm, all perfectly valid for a human with a gun, players will be spending points on new things they can do with firearms, things no human is capable of. Able to equip 2 melee and 2 ranged weapons at any time, at high levels can use devastating special moves, where the camera will zoom out at third person. It is not confirmed whether or not you can carry weapons like the original. Pre-order skins for weapons point to being able to do so. Background choices impact quest structure and options, e.g., background of being a police officer for a mission at a police station will allow you to walk straight in the door, but that comes with complications of its own as others recognize you. There are multiple endings for the game. Usually every playthrough is going to be different. Games have modding support available day 1. Will not feature day and night cycles, based on Unreal Engine 4. All clans will always be free, even newly released ones. And I just remembered something before we sign off. I forgot to look at the Malkavian. She's got green eyes, a masquerade mask, straight-laced hair, and a split bun back, which means she's kind of a serious personality. You can tell that by people's hairs. Purple lipstick, up collar, jester type ruffles here. So she's got a very jester, very Victorian masquerade ball looking thing. Lacy here. It looks like it's lacy with see-through, or she's got an undershirt. I'm not quite sure. With pants. I don't think pants would have been what I would have gone for, but it's easier to get around in pants, so I understand. She looks cool. Yeah, you can tell that. Look at that. See, finally combed back. He's very serious. Toreador has her styled. She cares a lot about what she looks like. The Tremere, she has like the little streaks and the goth look and everything. She's just like, yeah, I'm dark, I'm evil, I'm a witch, I own it. She owns that shit. She doesn't care. And then you see the Bruja is just like a biker dude, generic biker kind of guy, which, yeah. And Thin Bloods are like your average Joe Schmoes. Alrighty. Well, thank you for watching, and if you're a subscriber, thank you for subbing. If you watched this whole video, thank you for sticking through it, and I hope that you enjoyed my updates and that this was helpful and, you know, all that jazz. So, yeah, thank you again, and as always, love your malicious corpse.